Hello everyone. We just wanted to talk about 4 really important things that has meant so much to me and Michelle. We want to talk about 4 things that we feel that every single person working this business really needs to do. And the first one that we want to talk about is setting goals. We feel that setting goals is something that is very important that we all need to do. It's something that me and Michelle do, and it's something that we see all the top leaders do, because setting goals is like trying to go somewhere in a vehicle without a roadmap, and it makes it very difficult to get to your destination if you don't have some sort of map or directions that's going to help you get to where you're going to go. And my favorite story that I love to think about that explains this very well is Alice in Wonderland. And Alice was once lost in Wonderland. And as she was walking down the road, she came across the treasure cat. And the road kind of split right there. And she asked the cat, "Which way do I go?" And the cat asked her a question and said, "Well, where do you want to go?" And she says, "I don't know." And the cat answer was, "Then it really doesn't matter then, does it?" If we don't know where we want to go in this business and we don't have goals to get there, it doesn't really matter which direction we go in this business. And we'll never get to where we really want to go if we don't set goals.
And I feel like, obviously I agree with Brandon. I think you need to know where you're headed, but it's not sort of the complete end in sight. We need to set 30-day goals, 60-day goals, 90-day goals, and long-term goals. I always teach people, work to get to Ruby in your first month. If you do 4 parties in 1 month, I feel like you can get to Ruby, and to me that's a really good goal for your first month. And so I think it's just really important that you know, what do I want to do this month? What am I going to do by the end of that 60-day mark and 90-day? And long term, some people are maybe long term feel like they want to become a diamond, that they would be just thrilled to become a diamond. For me, I looked at that income chart and didn't see anything besides triple diamond. Nothing before and nothing after. And we can sort of evolve in our goals and they can become bigger. Obviously we're never going to stop, but you might see diamond as your long-term goal, but you've got to obviously get to Ruby first.
When we make goals, we write them down. We put them, we're not going to take you up in the bathroom, but right next to the mirror where me and Michelle get ready every morning, there are goals about getting to ambassador and how many distributors we're going to sign up this month. And it's something that we constantly look at. And so what kind of goals do we set? We set personal goals of how many wrap parties we're going to schedule this week, and we will work very hard to achieve that goal. And we set different goals depending on the week, and we set different goals for the month, and sometimes those goals are for a rank of, hey, we're really going to push for diamond, or we're going to go for double. And then there's other times that we're saying, hey, look, we just don't have a lot of people that we're wrapping right now and that we're really working with, so we really need to set some goals that's going to find more people. And so we set goals of, okay, we're going to blitz this many people every day until we can get 3 parties a week, where we're consistently doing 3 parties a week. And so we set goals like that, and it's important to know where you're going, and that's why you set goals. And write them down and put them on the refrigerator, put them where you're going to see them every day.
Well, and another thing too is that I feel like your calendar is your paycheck. And so you need to be first taking out your calendar, your monthly calendar, putting in all your non-negotiables, which is like, any appointments that you have, doctor's appointments or kids' activities, things that you can't get out of that you have to do. And everything else I feel like is open for a networks appointment, a networks party, for following up, for working with new leads, contacting your team. I mean, all these things we do better. I do so much better on a to-do list. If I know even like a daily goal, if I can work off of a to-do list, because I can kind of get sidetracked because there's just so many things that I want to do every day. And so remember that your calendar is going to equal your paycheck.
So set goals in your business. If you don't achieve those goals, then you know what? Try again next month and reevaluate where you fell short and what you need to do. But we work off of goals, and you will see your business take a leap by setting goals and working hard and holding yourself accountable for those goals and write them out. The second thing that we feel is very important that you need to have is a testimony of the products in this business. There's so many things that happen. You get people that want to high-five you and hug you, and they call you with tears in their eyes saying that these products have changed their life. And then you come across people that say mean things to you, and why are you even doing a business like this? It is so important that you get a testimony of the lip and eye cream, or the wrap, or the greens, or the fat fighter, or the defining gel, and all these different amazing products that you have in your country. You need to get a testimony of those. And having a testimony is so important because it doesn't matter what other people say about the company. It doesn't matter what people say about the products. If you know they work, then that is going to mean everything to you. So get a testimony of these products, and you'll see that testimony grow as you wrap or put these products on other people, and you can see what it does to them as well.
Yeah, I mean, getting a testimony of the products, becoming a product of the product, and seeing these products work on other people is going to be a huge driving force that is going to propel you forward to share these products. I mean, how many times, and you guys maybe thought this before you started, is I'm not a salesperson. Okay, I do not want salespeople. I want people who have fallen in love with these products, who have seen them work on their own body, or they've applied them to other people, or let other people try them, and they are naturally sharing them. And, you know, I remember when I first started, my cousin tried a couple of wraps, and she was telling me that they didn't work. And I was going diamond that month. And I remember calling up Christy, my sponsor, and I was shaken. I was a little shaken up, even though I had seen it work on a lot of people. I told her, like, oh, my cousin said this and that, and I was kind of getting hung up on it. And she stopped me and she said, Michelle, do you know that that product works? Do you know that the wraps work? And I said, well, yeah, of course I do. And she said, you can't let anyone shake you. Do not let anyone shake you, because there is going to be negativity, whether you are day one in this business or you've been doing this for over a year. People are skeptical. I mean, you were probably skeptical too. And so it's super important to have those products. And I think specifically the wrap. You need to see that wrap, even if it's taking you longer. It took me a little bit of time, about 4 months, to really feel confident with my own pictures. But I was wrapping so many other people, I knew it. And that signature product is key to your success, because you're not going to want to blitz people. You're not going to want to lead with that wrap on social media if you don't know that that signature product works. The other thing I feel like you need a testimony with is the company. You need to believe in the integrity and feel like you can trust our company. And I remember when Mark and Pam and Mike came to Salt Lake and did a one team, one mission. And I remember we were all sitting around at this VIP dinner afterwards for the triples and up. And we had ordered our food, and the salads had come. And Mark Pentecost stopped, and he had everyone join hands. And he actually said a prayer over the food, and he blessed our entire company. He blessed us here in Utah it was incredible to me, and my faith and my testimony in our company and our corporate team just went right through the roof that night. And I will never forget that day. I completely trust them, and so I think that that's really important. If you don't know and have that feeling about the company, do some research. Do some research on the company. There's a lot that can be found in your website, and just by Googling it works, and different awards and things that we've won.
So gain that testimony. I mean, me and Michelle both know that these products work, and we are grateful for the company and the business side of things. And so it's important. It doesn't matter what people say to us. It doesn't matter if they high-five us. It doesn't matter if they put down the company. We know we're getting a really good paycheck from the company, and that is life-changing. And we also know that these products work because we've used them for ourselves. You don't sell anything, you're sharing it. And if you can't just look somebody in the eyes and say, you know what, this is what it did for me. This is how the greens made me feel. This is what the wrap did for me. This is what the stretch mark cream did for me. Then you will do so much better when you can share of what these things did for you and share what you've seen it do for other people. So gain a testimony in that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I feel like the last part of your testimony is going to be sort of like your confidence and your testimony about yourself. Like, how well am I going to do at this? How much confidence do I have in myself, and how much do you believe it? And I really feel like all have sort of a different confidence level that we're starting at. But if you'll start with believing in the products, and then believing in the company, and working on your skills, working on, gathering leads and presenting at parties and following up with people and really working on your skills, that your testimony in yourself will grow just by working on those skills and doing sort of, walking the talk kind of thing. And so just challenge you guys to get that testimony of those products and the company and yourself as quick as you possibly can.
All right, we've talked about number 1 and number 2. Now talking about number 3. I love number 3, and that is finding your why. And we say find a why that makes you cry. And what that is we all need to have a why. Why do we get up in the morning and work this business? Why do we go to wrap parties at night? What is it that
The driving force.
What is that driving force that is just going to make you, in days that are hard, we all get discouraged. We all have really high days. We all have really low days. But what is going to make you dig down deep and just dig in and dig down deep? And when you feel something pushing against you, you just will bust out and start shoving back and saying, no, I will not be defeated. Nothing is going to keep me down. No, my why is bigger. I have to go through this house that's on fire because my kids are on the other side and I have to save them. And so finding a why that makes you cry is very important. And personal, my why that pushes me through tiredness, through booers and haters, and through depressing days, but even through good days. The things that motivate me and push me on is my why. And my why is a very personal thing. And we lost our house illegally by a bank. And we didn't get paid a lot of money. And we had a hard time making our house payment and asked if we could skip some payments. And when we went to make our payments 3 months later, the bank wouldn't accept any of our money. They saw all the equity that we had been, that was in our house because we'd been paying extra money on it for 4 years. And anyways, we ended up getting kicked out, and we lived in this rental house, and I would go and stand over my kids while they would sleep. And I would just apologize to them why they were sleeping in their beds, and I would apologize that this is the life that I had provided for them. And even though I know it wasn't my fault, we didn't get paid a lot of money, made it hard to pay the bills, and when we went to catch up our mortgage like they said we could in 3 months, and they wouldn't take our money at all, I knew it wasn't my fault, but I still felt that. And I just never want to go back to that day. And I will never go back to standing over my kids while they're sleeping in their beds at night and apologizing that this is the life that I have provided for them. And that is my why. And I will run through whatever. If that wall starts closing in on me, that wall better watch out, because I'm going to bust right through it. And because I'll never go back there. And it's important that we find a why that empowers you and strengthens you. And that why can evolve over time. Once you feel like you've kind of achieved that, it's time to set a new why. And that why can evolve.
Yeah, I just want to kind of touch on the evolution of your why. But right when you first start, you need something that is going to compel you. For me, my first why was the products. It was the wrap. I didn't know anything about anything. All I saw was Christy posting some before and after pictures on Facebook, and I was just so compelled by those results. I was just so amazed by what I saw in those pictures, and I wanted those results on me really bad. Like, it was almost like an instant, just so deep inside me that I felt drawn to this product. And so I signed up just because I wanted to use that product, and I knew that other women that I knew would want to too, and I wanted to be the one to tell them. And that was my first why. I remember the day that I hit Double Diamond, and we were up at our son's birthday, and I remember that day, and I talk about this a lot as like still my biggest aha moment. When I hit Double Diamond, I knew that this was going to be the answer to paying off all of our debt. And I got emotional that day, and I remember crying and telling that to Brandon, that this is the answer to all of our debt. And I knew it. And that became my new why, to really helping us get out of debt, because we were swimming in debt at the time. And so that was a really big driving force for me. And then my why evolved again, and I remember it was at the Atlanta boot camp. It was the first event that I had gone to after conference when I first started, and I remember Mark was up on stage, and he was talking, he brought up your spouse and your family, and he was just giving us like the bring it home speech at the end, and all I could think about was Brandon. And he wasn't there with me. I was there with Nikki and Tasha and Reno, and I got emotional sitting in there in the audience, thinking like, I have to do this for Brandon. I want to rescue him. We have always been self-employed, and so he has always just worked himself to death for our family. And he became my why that day, and he still is my biggest why today. Of why, like my ultimate goal, I guess, but my personal why is like what Brandon said, of like never going back. So for me, I never want to have to run our landscaping company or another business that I am not passionate and excited about again. I never want to go back and do that again. So I will work this business that I love to do, but I will work it because I will never go back to that life of frustration and misery that I was in and really didn't know how bad it was. And so it's okay that you have maybe like a little why and then a bigger why, and it might evolve over time, but you need something strong in the beginning. So really think about that when you have first started.
So I challenge you guys to do what me and Michelle both have done. And that is, me and Michelle both have kind of taken some time by ourselves, and we've had a crazy talk out loud. We've kind of sat by ourselves before. There was no TV on, turned our phone to silent. There was no distractions around us. And we talked to ourselves out loud and had a conversation with ourselves. And that's where we kind of figured out our why. And I challenge you guys to sit down and spend a little time alone and think about your why and what is going to make you just dig down deep and want to run through that wall when you feel that it's closing in, when you feel like, oh, I don't have time for this business, or people aren't supporting me, or I don't have people to rap, or whatever. I feel discouraged. Today's a bad day. We all have felt those feelings, but when you feel like the house is on fire, what's going to make you run back in that house to save your family? Mm-hmm. Is it your family? Is it a prized possession? What is it that's going to make you do it? And so I challenge you to have that crazy talk with yourself. So the fourth thing that we want to talk to you about is a dream board. This is something that is just another tool, another thing to do that is very, very important. Fourth thing here we're talking about, okay? So a dream board is something where you can go get a poster board or something, and you're going to basically put your dreams on it where you can see it every day as a reminder of what you're working hard for. And we ended up cutting out of some magazines a trip to Disneyland, and we put on there debt-free, and I think
pay off this bill.
Pay off this bill. I think we even put a credit card on there that we knew, like, we're working to pay that off.
Yeah, so the first dream board that I got, I just wrote it in. Like, some things you just write in, or you can use pictures. But it's important to have this visual reminder where you're going to see it every day of what you're working for. And I feel like writing your goals down, having them visual, then it's not just a wish. It becomes a goal. It becomes something tangible that you're working for. Just right along on my fridge over there right now, I've got my steps to success worksheet for the month and my dream board next to it. It's just this constant reminder of telling me where I'm going, what I'm trying to accomplish, and what I'm hoping for. And it can be anything from buying a new house to paying off a car to a dream vacation to just spending more time with your family. It can become something like becoming more confident, becoming, just the leader and the person that you want to be. And so everyone's dream board or vision board is going to be different.
So what are your dreams? What are the dreams that you want to achieve in life and that you want to see? I mean, I've seen lots of different leaders' dream boards, and I've seen Disneyland, I've seen cars, I've seen to bring my spouse home, I've seen to own our own home, to become debt-free. It's what your dreams are. And hang that up in your room, on your fridge, put it somewhere that it's that constant reminder to you of what you're working hard for. And me and Michelle, in really difficult, tough days, we're in the process of trying to buy a house right now. And you know what we did? We went and took a picture of that house that we want, and we put it on our dream board. And every day we look at it. And that house is only about 10 minutes away from where we live. And on the really difficult days, and sometimes when we just need a good reminder of why we're working hard, we probably go drive by that house about, 3-4 times a week right now while we're working on trying to get that house.
Putting our voodoo into it.
So we drive by it. But I'll tell you, it does something.
It's a driving force, yeah.
It does something for you. It makes you go, I want that. And, I'm willing to work hard for that. And it reminds you what the blood, the sweat, and the tears are all about. It helps you pick yourself up off the ground when you trip and fall and get back in the race. And so I challenge you guys to take some time, sit down with your family. I know lots of people will bring in their children and they'll get their husband involved and they say, let's sit down and do a family dream board. Hey, I'm going to be working this business, and yeah, we're investing our future in this and time and making some sacrifice. And what do you guys want to do? And we see Disneyland go up on the board. Or we talk about becoming debt free, or getting a dream truck, or whatever your dreams are. Then put them up as a constant reminder to you and your family of what you're working hard for. These 4 things that we are talking to you about has been something that all of the top leaders do. Every single one of them. And it's something that me and Michelle do. And I'll tell you, you find power and strength in setting goals. You don't want to be lost like Alice. Find power in having a testimony that makes you just dig in, that you know that these products really work and this company is true. It's not going anywhere. They're debt free. They're doing amazing things for people in people's lives and us in our lives. And finding your why. Finding a why that makes you cry. You got to be able to bust through those walls when they close in, and that you will do that. And then making your dream board. That's why you do all these things, is because you want to achieve the things on your dream board. We want you to know that we are here to help you and we care about you. We want to see you guys go out there and achieve your dreams. We love to see posts or get phone calls from people. And me and Michelle have broke down into tears many times when we have gotten a phone call from a distributor that says that she's crossing something off her dream board. And those have been paying off a vehicle. We've even heard doctor bills. We've gotten phone calls about doctor bills and credit cards.
And yeah, just the last thing that I wanted to say is, of all these 4 things, I think the thing that has helped me the most and just stay in the right mindset and getting your heart and your mind right is super important. And so I've learned that living with an attitude of gratitude and truly be grateful. You may not be exactly where you want to be right now, but if you have an attitude of gratitude, and I mean, we are a Christian-based company. We believe in God. We believe that all these blessings and these products and everyone that comes into our lives is from God. And so I pray every morning and every night with this attitude of gratitude, because I feel like you're not going to be blessed with any more if you can't appreciate and be grateful for where you are. Just appreciate where you are. Know that you want to move forward. Know that brighter days are ahead. But be grateful. The more grateful you are and the more positive vibes you sort of send off to people and the energy about you, people are going to be drawn to you. And so have that positive energy inside you, and people are going to be drawn to you, and they're going to inquire about these products and these business if you can have that positivity and that gratitude inside your heart.
Thanks for tuning in to this lovely training video that you're watching right now. But it really has meant a lot to us, these things, and also other leaders have mentioned them as well.
We love you guys.
Love you, challenge you to do those 4 things that we've talked about.
See you next time.
Adios.